Hello, and welcome to the Dually Leadership Experience Career Compass podcast, where we explore the skills, strategies, and mindset shifts that help you thrive in today's workplace. I'm your host, Jason McGill, Creative Coordinator for DLE. Each episode delivers practical guidance to help you take ownership of your career. Today's topic, when showing up isn't good enough. With AI accelerating productivity across industries, companies are reassessing both the nature of work and the number of roles required to perform it. As technology advances, fewer jobs may be needed, and that shift is rewriting the definition and requirements of showing up. Today, we'll define those new expectations in our episode, AI is Rewriting the Requirements for Showing Up. Joining me is Linda Dooley, President and founder of Dooley & Company, a nationally recognized expert in transforming workplace breakdowns into breakthroughs. Linda also leads and underwrites the Dooley Leadership Experience, a fee-free professional development organization specializing in communication, networking, and career advancement resources for job success. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you, Jason. I am looking forward to helping our listeners sort through some of the AI disruptions in the workplace today for their own career growth.
Also joining us is Victoria Macher, the DLE social media coordinator and a recent Marist University graduate, bringing a Gen Z perspective. Welcome, Victoria.
Hi, Jason. I'm happy to be here. With so many internships and entry-level jobs being eliminated, this conversation is so real for early career professionals scrambling for employment right now.
Let's start with a reality check. The days of clocking in, completing assigned tasks, and calling that success are over. The bar has been raised. During the pandemic hiring surge, employees held tremendous leverage. Attendance was celebrated. Some new hires didn't even show up on day one.
Yeah, and that era is long gone. Organizations are tightening as AI is increasing efficiency, and leaders are scrutinizing roles and headcount more carefully than ever. Now, if this shift feels surprising to you, that is a big warning sign that you're way, way out of touch because the pace of change doesn't allow for knowledge coasting. You need to significantly upgrade your information intake. I suggest compiling a diverse portfolio of at least 5 to 8 respected learning resources to get you out of the dark. Source news and business podcasts and newsletters, blogs, e-blasts, radio programs, newspapers, and even magazines. Yes, they really do still exist to build your knowledge about your industry, your profession, your dream career, your community, our nation, and the world beyond. It's really up to you to build a well-rounded syllabus that a college professor or a high school teacher once handed you. Pay attention to economic signals, political movements, and business trends on AI's impact, and especially on how work is getting done. Because if your knowledge doesn't grow, well, neither can you.
That's a great point, Linda. The hard truth is that no company can afford spectators. Self-inertia or failing to stay current turns you into one.
Spectators simply fall off the radar screen during the critical performance review process that all companies conduct. AI is sharpening executive level discussions about who creates measurable value, who adapts quickly, basically, who is essential. Simply showing up to your job won't propel you to the standout status that answers those questions with your name.
So, in today's workplace, what skills carry premium value?
Well, one enduring differentiator, and I say enduring because this is time and tested and true, it is simply taking initiative. You must move from completing tasks that are handed to you to looking for opportunities to create impact. Taking initiative shifts your focus from simply getting stuff done to making results happen.
Yeah, I definitely see that firsthand. Just saying I finished my assignments is no longer impressive. Employers expect initiative through ideas, improvements, and engagement beyond just a checklist.
So, a clear message is AI is rewriting performance expectations, results over routine. Be a problem solver.
Yes, before raising a concern, identify at least one improvement idea, one recommendation for making the situation better. Demonstrate that you've tried to identify and understand the root cause of an issue and that you've spotted a potential way to resolve it.
So, having a big picture mindset will help you step up. How can you grow your job perspective?
Well, I'm a big viewer of Shark Tank. I'm going to prescribe, watch a few episodes. No, seriously, because the operational and organizational aspects of business success are probed with every budding entrepreneur that seeks the investment of one of the sharks on the panel. Your value multiplies when you see beyond your individual role to the broader enterprise. In my coaching, I encourage clients to pursue lateral assignments, roles in different departments or locations. Those experiences expand business knowledge and deepen internal connections. The broader your understanding of how the organization functions, the more indispensable you become. Growing up in a family business, I saw firsthand how much it meant to my parents when employees presented ideas for improving the end customer experience or product quality, whether it was a press operator in my mother's commercial printing business or a paper carrier for one of my dad's weekly newspapers. These employees saw the business well beyond their individual roles. My parents didn't have the only or the best ideas for improving performance. And this was especially true during the worst of times, like when a fire destroyed the printing company. Thanks to employees collectively seeing the end goal of overcoming a massive disruption and rising above their specific tasks, a temporary location was established, and we were operating within 3 weeks of that catastrophe.
That's a great point, Linda. I think a lot of the time we get so used to our everyday tasks to the point of burnout. This causes us to forget the reason we're there and the company's goals. Keeping those in mind and consistently moving forward to better the company is what will help you stay on top.
Very true, Victoria. Another stronghold skill for AI proofing your career is strengthening interpersonal skills. AI can process information, but it can't build trust. Communication, listening, collaboration, these matter more than ever in today's world.
Exactly, Jason. This is prevalent in our weekly Duly Leadership Experience team meetings. We are constantly making decisions in a group setting, so active engagement and communication is key. This is what truly keeps us going and producing quality work. Having open lines of communication helps us grow our relationships so that we work better together.
I agree, Victoria, and I'd like to think that we all collaborate pretty well. I also think of my role as a sales development representative with WisCommerce. Although my position is remote, my team conducts stand-up meetings to keep us connected and motivated. Building rapport with my other team members has been invaluable to gain new insight as a newcomer, especially. By bouncing ideas and experiences off of each other, I can better relate to their roles and can step in when needed, especially if someone's out or, sick from an illness.
I'm a daily reader of the Wall Street Journal, which I highly recommend to upgrade your information intake, something we discussed earlier in this podcast. On March 3rd, 2026, the journal published a probing article titled, Why Gen Z is Unprepared for the Workplace. Topping the list of deficit skills was, drumroll, communication. Let me cite an excerpt from what the journal reported. Quote, Gen Z has learned to communicate in a digital world, sending texts, and instant messages instead of interacting in person. This makes them anxious when interactions are unplanned and spontaneous, when they must participate in high-stake meetings and react to unexpected feedback and demands from the boss. End quote. In a world racing towards automation, the ability to connect may become the ultimate differentiator.
That isn't an indictment, it's an invitation to build the skill.
Well put, Jason. Let me cite another outside source. Earlier this year, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce released results of a major study addressing what they describe as a national connection crisis. Their report, and it's titled The 6 Points of Connection 2026, calls on businesses and municipalities to intentionally create spaces that foster human interactions. They say workplace break rooms and downtown main streets as equally important hubs for building connection. So think about that. Social connection is now viewed as economic infrastructure.
Wow, that's very powerful, Linda. So, as individuals, how do we step up to that challenge?
Well, first, let's recognize that meaningful connections are sprung from conversation. Conversational skills, unfortunately, have crashed in our digital world, as I mentioned, of sending text messages and instant messages rather than interacting in person. We noted that younger generations, and especially Gen Zs, well, they've grown up with online education, and for many of them, with the computer screen off. So we have to change communication habits, starting with interacting in real life and asking questions that start conversations. Here's a simple but very powerful practice that combines both. Initiate at least one spontaneous conversation daily with a complete stranger. That's right, someone you don't know. Skip the drive-through. Avoid the self-checkout. Stand in a line, make eye contact with someone next to you, and ask an open-ended questions. But instead of saying, "How's it going?" try something more curious. Notice a sports logo on a cap or a unique necklace, a painting in the background if you're on Zoom, because you can use that visual cue, even on a screen, as well as in person, to trigger a conversation. With practice, your comfort will increase and your communication skills, they're going to sharpen. And these are the skills that you're going to be using in those high stakes meetings, those critical client conversations, and when you start ascending into leadership roles.
Yeah, I completely agree. One of my jobs is working as a barista at Starbucks. In those interactions I have every day, I've learned that sometimes people just want to talk. They're looking for connection. And you never know, your future boss, client, or collaborator might be standing in that coffee line. Every interaction is practice. Every conversation is an opportunity.
So, let's wrap up with another target area: demonstrating premium value. This requires you to calibrate and ask yourself, if my role disappeared tomorrow, what void would it create?
Now, to answer that question objectively, evaluate yourself in 4 areas. Your proactivity. Do you anticipate needs? Your continuous learning habits. Are you improving processes and expanding your knowledge every single day? Your relationship building. How strong and diverse are your internal and external networks? And your reliability. Do you consistently deliver and with quality and accountability? Keep a written record of ideas that you've introduced to help improve team performance. Capture the impact in real time. Don't rely on memory. And then conduct a monthly self-review of your notes. Identify gaps. Reset goals. The goal of doing this isn't fear. It's building awareness. And your career security comes from relevance. And relevance, that's earned daily.
Well said, Linda. If today's episode resonated, take 5 minutes this week to identify one way you can increase your impact, because showing up is no longer enough. This is the Dually Leadership Experience Career Compass podcast. I'm Jason McGill. Own your growth, strengthen your value, and never sit in the spectator seat.